Good evening, everybody. It's right on 7:30 and we'll go and get started here. Just make sure that this is recording. We're recording live here. My name is Sally Dymond. I'm on the ASEA Medical Board and I've been with the company for 5 years. So tonight I'm going to share with you my story and a little bit about the Redox products and what excites me about this. So I'm glad that you're all here. Someone's cared enough to invite you along tonight, so sit back and enjoy. We're not going to take up too much of your time, just to highlight some of the cool things that I've been doing with it and that you can also introduce to your home as well. So a little bit about me. I've been in health for about 30 years and as a therapist in acupuncture, bioresonance scanner, massage therapy, sports injuries. I've worked on women's tennis. I've also worked with babies all the way through to the geriatrics. I think the eldest client I've worked on is about 95. And I've had a great time treating everything from sports injuries to the really, really sick people. So there's not too many people that I don't touch, and I've been doing this for a really long time. When ASEA first came across my desk about 5.5 years ago, I was super skeptical. It wasn't in Australia yet, and I was just kind of thinking it was just another thing. I really wasn't sure what everyone was raving about, because to me, we just had the gel, it's a tube of Renew 28, and it was being promoted as a skincare beauty cream. And if you take a look at me, I'm not really a beauty pageant. I never wear makeup, and you won't see me doing the 10-step skin process. So I was always wondering why I was being pitched to this beauty cream. But it goes way more than the skin, and the skin, as we know it, is the largest organ in the body. So we're going to highlight the main ingredient in the product. There's just a chat here. Let me see. It's not important. Oh, someone's saying hi. Hello. So what we're going to do is go through some of the science and then talk about how you can incorporate it into your life and how to use it as well. So the science of redox biochemistry, it all starts in the cell. The science is something that is not new. It's something that's been around for a really long time. And you can see lots and lots of science at aseascience.com. As you can see on the screen here, there are many, many articles, publications, textbooks, where you can find some really technical information. If you're into the really deep science of what redox is, then I suggest that you go to one of these sources and you start to really search the impact of what redox is having on the cell, and you'll find lots of great technical information there. I spent a little bit of time looking at all of that because I do like to look at a bit of science, and that's what made me realize that this was something unique and different. It's the only skincare product on the market that contains redox signaling molecules. And when you understand the importance of this, why would you put anything else on your body? When you put something on your body, remember it's going straight through your body and into your system. So be really careful what you're exposing yourself to and what is touching your skin. It's almost as important as what you put in your mouth, and I think sometimes even more important. That goes with makeup, it goes with any chemicals, any toxins, any gardening products, any paint, anything that you are exposed to that your body is touching is actually got to be processed through your system, through your liver and through your gut. And you know, some of these things, they just don't go very well through the body. They get caught up, and that's what causes some health problems that we all experience. So anyway, I sidetracked. The science of redox biochemistry, you'll find there. You'll also find there's many, many conferences that go on around the world. And these conferences and universities are studying redox. We've got Harvard, we've got School of Medicine there, University of Colorado. We have what else have we got here? Sydney University, they're studying some redox biology lab. Stanford and Harvard, as I said, they're all studying. So this is not new. There's a conference that goes on every year. If you were to Google redox conferences, you would find the lineup of speakers are all highly educated PhDs, and they're studying the effect of redox and metabolism, redox and certain conditions of the body. And it has an effect on every single system and cell inside your body. So when people would say to me, will redox help X, Y, and Z? I can pretty much say without a doubt, it will have a positive effect on your body, because what we're doing is going right the way back to your cell. So inside the cell, we have our redox molecules. They're involved in every major system. They're foundational to our self-healing. So if we were to take a look at your cell and break it apart, we would have our mitochondria. A mitochondria is the power plant of the cell. It produces ATP, which is our energy. And in that process, it spins off redox molecules. So these are the essential element, as I said, and we're living and dying at the cellular level. So if we start with you, you're made up of many systems in the body: musculoskeletal, immune system, gastro, you name it. There's many systems that make up us. If I was to take one of those systems and break it down, we would have organs associated with that. If I was to take the organs and break them down into tissues, take the tissues down into cells, and break our cells down, we end up with these redox molecules in our mitochondria, little bags of salt water. And that's what we're talking about tonight, is redox molecules. So the main ingredient in this tube of Renew 28 is redox molecules. It's the only ingredient, to be honest. And what we're doing is, when we put it on the skin, it's penetrating through our skin. It's 2 to 4 atoms wide. It's going straight into the cell. And if we put the gel where we are feeling any kind of problem or something that's just not right, then we know the redox is going straight into that area to do the job. So our diet is poor, our environment is toxic, we're aging, and we're sick for no reason. Did you know that by the time you turn about 40, the number of molecules that your body is naturally producing in your cells is halving? So between 40 and 50, some people will say, I take care of myself, I'm in great shape. That's what I said at 39. Everyone would tell me, don't turn 40. That's when everything starts to go. Your eyes go, your knees go, your joints go. And I used to say, everything's fine. I take care of my diet. I'm really healthy. I exercise. I eat well. Except when I turned 40, about 40 and a half, my eyes did start to go. And thankfully, I found a seer shortly after that. And I've been taking it for nearly 5.5 years now. And so my eyes have repaired. I actually went to the optometrist and had a test. They wanted to give me glasses. I refused to wear glasses and started to drop the seared liquid drops into my eyes, and consequently have never had to wear those glasses. So you can use this product anywhere on or in your body. In various methods. You can spray it, you can use an eyedropper, you can use a nasal spray, and wherever you can get this, remember, it's exactly what your body's making. It's not toxic. We're not putting anything foreign into our body. We're just putting it into areas where our body needs some help. So if at 40 we're starting to decline in redox and we're starting to feel that aging, by 50 and 60, I say we're 50% alive and 50% not really working. By 60, it's going the wrong way. We're 60% not working and 40% alive. And at 70, we're really starting to feel those signs of aging. So even if you have taken great care of yourself up to a point, by the time you start hitting 65, the wheels are starting to fall off. So imagine if you could replenish that ability for your cells to feel like they did when they were younger. That's what you can do when you start to use this product. We're putting back into the cell the redox, which is the engine of the cell and the essence that makes us really tick. So if we break apart redox, we have our reductants and our oxidants. That's what it stands for. Huge antioxidant movement that we've been through, where we were all just, taking antioxidants and trying to stop that oxidation and rusting in our body. But what we've discovered lately is that we need both the reductants and the oxidants. And the job of these two together is to detect, repair, replace, and protect. So if you cut yourself, the body needs to recognize that there's a wound. It then needs to send all the information necessary from cell to cell to send the anti-inflammatories or the antibacterials or the antivirals, everything that's needed to heal and repair that area and not let it get infected. So in a young, healthy person, that cycle is working very well. A child can cut themselves and heal when they're asleep, wake up and pretty much be better the next day or thereafter. An older person, someone in their 60s or 70s, they might experience something not so quick and it might fester into something not so nice. So if we can take this ability to send the messages, to detect, then repair, then replace, and then protect it from a virus, if we can put that ability back into that area that's not working so well by putting the gel in and around that wound, then you're going to start that process of healing very, very fast. So you can use this product anywhere where something doesn't work properly. So in our house, it's the #1 thing we grab for any incident. accident, or when there's something that comes up and the kids say to me, something's not right. So in our house, we renew it before we think about doing anything else. And we do it 3 or 4 times within 5 minutes, and you start to get a response that quickly. So you can also go to the redoxdoc.com. That's a site there by an independent doctor. He will explain this process of redox and reductants and oxidants, and it's in layman's terms, so you will understand it, don't worry. And he has some really great newsletters that come out specific to different questions. So he's not actually speaking about ASEA, he's speaking about the process of redox molecules, which is what is ASEA. So you can go there and check it out. So why is it made from salt water? A lot of people will say, oh, is it just expensive salt water and it tastes like pool water? Well, I was a swimmer. I just missed the Olympics in '92 by 0.04 of a second. So for someone to tell me to drink the pool water, kind of horrifying. And I didn't really want any bar of it, because we spent 4 hours a day trying not to swallow any pool water because it's completely toxic, full of chlorine, full of chemicals. Most swimmers end up with some kind of chlorine or toxin poisoning, or definitely a glandular fever, chronic fatigue process that happens. Certainly what happened to me, I ended up quite sick after my swimming career, and that's what led me into the natural therapies. So this is a question that we get asked all the time, and I'm going to take you through the process of how ASEA is actually made. But first, if you look at the human body, we're 70% water. Saline, sweat, tears, all of our body fluids mostly are of a saline nature. If you think about the earth, we're also sitting in 70% salt water. So there's something going on here in the combination of this salt water. If I was to break your body back from the cells, we're energy, frequency, and atoms. And so when you talk about electricity, if you have water there, it's a massive conductor. So you actually need both. So that's my other role as a scanotherapist, bioresonance. It's about putting frequency into the body. So when you combine the two, you have the magic element of starting to kickstart the engine in your body and bring life back into the body. So there's 33 international patents on the ASEA liquid, and you can't patent salt water. So there's a great clue right there that it's not salt water. What they've actually done is taken pristine saline solution, the same that's found in your cells. It's actually pharmaceutical grade sodium chloride, and they put it through an electrochemical process. I've been to the manufacturing plant a number of times now to see this process, and they pull apart the atoms, so the sodium, chloride, hydrogen, and oxygen, and they restabilize it into the form of a redox molecule. So when they test it, and they do test it at third-party laboratories, it comes out as redox signaling molecules and the structure of a redox signaling molecule. So you can be sure you're not drinking salt water. I've been drinking it for 5 years. I've been drinking it in anything from 60 mils 3 times a day to a bottle a day on some days. So if that was the case, then I can tell you I'd be in the renal unit and I'd be having my kidneys flushed, but that's not the case. I'm in the best shape of my life. I perform crazy amounts of workload and triathlons and all sorts of crazy things, and life has never really been better for us in our family. So the third part there is, you can see highlighted, is stabilized. So the really key factor here with ASEA is that they were able to take it, make it to be a redox structure. When redox is in the body and it's sending messages and signaling between the cells and sending a message that we need anti-inflammatory, or we need to release antibacterial, those messages that are being sent happen very, very fast. So once the message is sent, it essentially dies. So it's very quick signaling. It's called a signaling supplement because that's what's happening. The redox is a signaling supplement, signaling the messages from cell to cell to communicate what needs to happen next. So when that's not working, the body's kind of stuck, and we're stuck in a process where the next step's not happening. So most people can tell you, if you ask them how they are, they'll tell you how they are, and you better have an hour, because some people will take an hour just to get through their story of what is not working. As a therapist, I have to kind of speed track that process sometimes, because they really do want to sit and talk about how many parts of their body are not working. Sometimes it's easier for me to ask what is working. And so the same thing here, when they've got these redox molecules, when they were trying to stabilize it, they couldn't keep it in that stable structure. It would go back to being salt and water. So you can't actually have a product that they make as one thing and it ends up as another thing on the shelf that they sell. So the trick with the science that they were trying to do for many, many decades in stabilizing this redox is to keep it in that active redox structure so that it was redox molecules by the time it got to us from America. We're not drinking salt water. So we know that the product now is stable in that bottle for up to 18 months, and there is a use by date on the bottle. After the use by date, very, very slowly starts to go back into that salt water solution, but it happens very, very gradually. So don't worry if your bottle is nearing the expiry date. I would still drink it. I've seen and heard of some amazing results, even on an expired bottle that's a year old. So that's just what's starting to happen, though. It is starting to go back more and lose that efficacy of the Redox. So our flagship product and the first product they developed was the ASEA liquid, and that people started using that in a spray bottle so you can spray your skin. So if you can only get one product, get the liquid. You can soak the inside of your body with it, and you can use the liquid in a spray bottle and you can spray yourself. So quite often I have a spray bottle until someone steals it in my bathroom, and I spray my hair, I spray my body, I spray my face, and then I apply the Renew 28 to wherever it is that I might be treating for that particular day. The second product they launched was the Renew 28, and that was the first product we got here in Australia. It was the first product that I started to use, and as a therapist, all of my clients got to experience Renew. They still do. If you come and see me, you will get Renew rubbed all over you. And the results that I started to see in my practice, people started to heal faster. I didn't need to see them as often in the clinic. They would take some home with them. They would be able to treat themselves in their troubled spots between sessions, and they would have a longer lasting relief. And when something happened, they could use the product immediately on their problem, wherever it might have been, and get some relief. So you can use it everywhere on your body. And then they brought out the skincare, and within the skincare comes the serum. That's a really strong concentrated form of the Redox in the little blue tube there. And that can be used on the fine lines, the wrinkles, dark circles. A really fantastic skincare range there, where you start with a cleanser, foaming cleanser in the shower, and guys, you can shave with it. Then you can use the Renew 28 on your face, let it dry a little bit, and then put the serum, and then follow it with the moisturizer. So a really, really compact skincare that even I can use. So you don't have to be this 10-step genius. Even my husband's using it. So life-changing products all there in one kit. It's the only thing we use on our body for absolutely everything. It's pretty much replaced every single thing you can imagine. We go camping, we use it. If we go to the beach, we use it. After we've been to the beach, we use it. And it takes care of anything that happens in all of those places. So you can replace your skincare with one thing at a time, or you can just buy the whole pack. So as I said, science was important to me. ASEA does fund millions of dollars of research across 7 continents. And these are some of the laboratories that they use. The Tourette Labs have done a genetic study. They prove that it is not salt water, that it is actually redox molecules. And we have at Bioagilics, they certify every tube of Renew 28. You'll see the label on the bottom of each tube, and they certify that each batch of ASEA products contain redox signaling molecules. You can Google that company, full of PhDs and scientists, and a very, very, very well respected lab in the US that certifies many, many pharmaceuticals as well. So the gene study that I was talking about, they did a study here, and they can show a positive expression, 20 to 31% difference in gene expression abundance in 5 genes that are involved in pathway signaling, including the regulatory network pathways. Long-term consumption of ASEA resulted in stable expression changes at the 8-week time point. These genes are key in the health of the individual and play a vital role in 5 human health areas. So you can see here digestion, hormone, immune system, cardiovascular, and inflammation. If you look at any of my clients that I see in a given day, they all experience inflammation. And I would say 90 to 100% of them experience dysfunction in one or more than one of these categories. So when you can start taking ASEA, you start to have a positive impact on all of these systems of the body. Dr. Kenneth Ward says these results are unique and exciting, and ASEA Redox is a signaling supplement, and the pathways expressed are signaling genes. So you can find that study on ASEAScience.com and you look for the gene study. As a therapist, one of the main things I'm trying to do is bring blood flow into an area. So one of the studies they did was showing a 49% increase in blood flow to an area, and that lasts for a period of 96 hours. It actually goes up to 55%. So when you're constantly applying this, as I said, I would retail it to my clients, and they go home with a tube and can continue working that area that I might have treated. And it's a bit like having the therapist in the pocket where they're getting treatment for the whole week. So as I said, the largest organ of the body is the skin. It protects the body from elements, regulates body temperature, fluid balance, and it's our organ of sensation. All of these functions require proper and effective blood flow. And as the blood flow decreases with age, a number of conditions arise. So we can be treating with Renew 28, and we're going to be seeing a healthy and radiant skin, even complexion, relief from dry skin, stretch mark reduction, disappearance of cellulite, reduction in spider veins, and better circulation, hands and feet as well. So really great product to use all over your body. It's called Renew 28 because the skin cells renew themselves every 28 days, and it enhances our cellular renewal process. If you're between 40 and 50, maybe your skin renewal process is happening at a much slower rate. So you're renewing, say, 50 to 90 days instead of 28 days. As time goes on and the more you use the gel, that will come back to the 28 days. When it starts to turn over at that fast rate, that's when the healthy skin starts to appear, and you start to appear younger instead of older, because your skin rate is turning over at the rate it was when you were younger. So for me, I actually stopped wearing any little makeup that I did wear. I would put on a little bit of powder. I had really red, irritated face. That was the reason I started using Renew in the first place, was to see if it would help my skin condition. It had nothing to do with clients or business. It was purely personal. When I gave in and decided to try it, it was really for myself and for my face. And it did take about 5 or 6 months before I really noticed a really big change in my skin. And then my kids would say to me, "Mummy, your skin feels really smooth." And my skin had never, ever felt smooth in my life. Chlorine damage, sun, and just, I don't know, it was just never smooth, healthy skin. So I was excited that that happened. And that's when I took it into my clients and then started to use it in my practice. So what do we know about redox molecules? They stimulate our body's ability to signal and communicate from cell to cell, and they ensure optimal cell function and efficiency. So just like a builder moves the products that come to the building site to build a house, they all come in pieces, but you need the foreman to tell the electrician and the plumber to actually perform their jobs to move the materials around to build the house. In the body, the job of the redox molecule is a bit like that builder. It's the foreman that's telling everything else what needs to happen, when it needs to happen, and where it needs to happen. So without that director, you would hate your plumber to go into the house and not know what to do and in what order to do it and how to do it. So you need someone that's directing all of this information. So often people are seeing treatment, they're having nutritional supplements, they're taking medical treatments, but the body is missing the redox. It's missing this ability to actually send all of these things in the right place at the right time. So I say, when you start to add redox into your life, all those other things that you are doing, whether it's medical treatments, alternate treatments, or both, they're enhanced and everything starts to work much, much more effectively. So I would not say you don't need to stop anything, just add in Renew 28 or ASEA or both, and start to see how your body starts to wake up, light up, and start to use some of these information and things that you're already doing. So on that note, we talk about expectations. You've probably heard someone tell you an amazing story of how it worked so fast on something. Usually for an acute problem, if you do something in the kitchen, you've got something that's just happened and you apply that gel 3 times in 5 minutes, I guarantee you'll have an immediate response. But if you've been someone that's had a problem for a really long time, you've got many systems of the body that are affected, you've got problem on problem on problem, that you're taking drug, you've got side effects from all of that going on. Don't expect to take 1 bottle of ASEA and all of a sudden your world to change and everything to get better. It takes a good 3 months for the product to go in, to detect, start that cleanup process. When you go in and renovate a house that's completely destroyed, you're not going to fix it in 1 week. It's going to take time to clean out the mess, clean out the carpet, clean out the walls, probably rearrange a few walls, get the builder in, get the designer in, and get the place looking nice. It's the same thing when I go into a ravaged body where we've got multiple systems affected, we've got surgery upon surgery, we've got drugs. We've got to go in first and start to clean up. So it's a process Took you a while to get into that mess. It's going to take you a little while to get out of the mess. So don't go in and expect to see is going to fix it instantly. This is a treatment, and it should go for a minimum of 3 to 12 months. It all depends on how long you've had your condition and how severe it is and how many systems are involved. So remember, Redox is not magic. Your body's magic. And when you put Redox in it, your body can start performing like magic and start to turn the lights on very slowly in every system, so we awaken and stimulate that life force deep down within ourselves. So the way that the company started was always of great interest to me, because I like to see the journey of how something kind of becomes. And Vertus was the CEO of Kraft Foods for a long time. He retired as a very wealthy businessman. 69, out playing golf, was asked to sit on the board of a company that was stabilizing these redox molecules. He was given a machine that took them from salt water, made them redox. He had to drink it in a time frame because it would go back to salt water. He was consuming it, feeling good, looking good, sleeping good, had more energy, thought this is amazing, went through all the research, didn't really want the hassle of the company, wanted to buy the machine. They didn't want to sell the machine. So for him to keep the machine, he had to buy the company. He bought the company with the problem that they needed to stabilize it to make it available to the world. By chance, by fortune, by good luck, whatever you want to say, he stumbled across Gary Samuelson. He was the gentleman that stabilized the molecules by accident, by a gift from God, by who knows what. Same thing, scientists had been trying to do this for a really long time. Gary Samuelson was able to do it, and now they had a product that was stable and ready to go to the market. So the only way to get a product to the market very fast, without the powers of big pharma in the way, from person to person, with a proper education network where people are educating people on the right way how to do this, was to do it via word of mouth. At the time though, they were wondering, how do we get this to the world? So you would think the best place to go is to the big pharma. They can share it across the medical network, except there's one big problem there. When they showed it to big pharma, of course big pharma wanted to buy it, and they were going to close it down the very next day. So they offered them a very, very large sum of money, but the condition was that they would destroy everything. At the time, Vertus was dealing with 6 of his friends that were very unwell, that were using the product and getting great results. So he felt obliged that if this was to go away, he was unsure what would happen to his friends. So amongst a number of big decisions, they decided not to sell it to big pharma and instead share it with people who could then share it with people. So that's why you're sitting here tonight in your lounge room. Someone invited you here to hear this story and share the product with you, because they've had a great result and they can probably see you struggling as well. So I'm eternally grateful to Vertus and Tyler. In fact, I had a friend here today, also in ASEA, and we were kind of touring the house, and we have been able to renovate our home, and it's thanks to ASEA and an extra bit of income that came in that enabled us to finish our home and have amazing opportunities and meet some really great people. A lot of you on this call tonight. So I'm eternally grateful to this man and to his son, Tyler. Tyler now heads the company, and he's a wonderful speaker. So you should probably Google Tyler and watch some of his speeches. So in saying no, we were able to have a company now that's profitable. They own their manufacturing facility. It's a beautiful facility that a lot of us have been to. They ship to over 34 countries. Every year they're growing, and during this crazy time and world that we're in, ASEA is a very, very stable company, a stable structure, and a really stable corporate team. So we have a technology that's growing, it's patented, it's life-changing. There is no competition. It's the only redox product on the market. There's nothing that comes close to this. It's a complete set of 16 molecules, those 8 pairs, 8 reductants and 8 oxidants. We're validated by the third party, and we're stable. So there's a great opportunity here for you. If you're looking for a side business or a little bit of extra income, or you just want your products paid for, you can get this with ASEA. You could be on the leading edge, marketing a one-of-a-kind product, helping your family most of all, and your closest friends, and anyone that you should meet on the street that you see might be struggling. It's a simple gesture to say, have you heard of ASEA? And if they're willing to hear about it, then you simply share a presentation like this, or you send them a link to a video. Once they're interested, you can really get back to the person that helped you get started, and they will help you. So it's really that simple. First of all, we care about helping you helping you get well, maybe replacing your skincare and getting rid of the toxic stuff and using something that's a little more friendly for your body. You might stop there and go, this is amazing, I'm using it, I'm looking younger, my skin feels great, I don't have as many wrinkles. But you might like to take it one step further. When someone tells you how great you look, that you might start to share it. So when you share it, that's when a seer starts to say thank you and starts to give you a little bit of money for each time you share it. So if you want to be really vocal and share it with a lot of people, or you find a few people that like to share it with a lot of people, then your team of people using it starts to grow. When that team grows, so does your thank you money from a seer. You might get a few little bonuses of some trips. You might get some free products when you start to use the products every month. A seer gives you some loyalty points that you can then redeem free products. So if you're not aware of that or how to use it, ask the person who invited you. I had one lady, she had 900 loyalty points or 800 loyalty points in her back office. When I checked, she had no idea that even existed. And it was right when COVID hit. She was actually a doctor, she was out of work, and she was eternally grateful that we could order her 12 bottles of a seer, and we just kept ordering until her points ran out. But she redeemed an enormous amount of free product that she had just built up in her account over the last 12 or 18 months. So once this happens and you've started to share it with a lot of people, you get to enjoy a third income. And when a third income comes into the house that matches your second income and your first income, then you've got the great ability to renovate a house, buy a car, go on some really great trips, or even drop your second or first income of the house. So it starts to become a really fun, flexible way to live. I actually took a year off in the last 12 months. I took a year off my clients, a year off the clinic, and I was traveling a lot with all my ASEA family and team and my immediate family. And we had some really great trips, which is great because now we can't go anywhere. And I'm actually very happy at home. But if you're looking for a lifestyle of fun, adventure, and travel, or just renovating and having extra money come in, then ASEA could be the opportunity. You're never going to see this again come through, where you get to have a product that's got no competition and can have massive impact on people's health. So I invite you to take a serious look. At the moment, there's some really fabulous promos going where you get extra loyalty points, you get extra free products, and you've got product then that you can either share with people or you can double your dose. So for $60, you can open an account, figure out a pack that suits you and your family, and start earning some points to get some free products. So that's it. How about that? Raced through that pretty good. So that's the presentation for this evening. I don't know if there's any chats there. Let's have a look. Is it safe to use with existing skincare? Yes, it is. So if you're already using a skincare system, you can simply add the Renew 28. So cleanse with whatever you're using and then just put the Renew 28 on. And then you can continue. Once you've finished your skincare, you can then choose to add in the ASEA or continue doing what you're doing. I think that's all the questions that I have there. Has anyone else got any questions? You can quickly post it in the chat box there. I will stop the recording.